Hi, thanks so much for watching. Today I'll be creating this spring outing layout using the Felicity Jane um, kit that I have here, which is down to the last few sheets of paper. And I'm also using my Kiwi Lane templates. I am using the rings 4, as you can see me tracing this onto the middle of the page. And instead of cutting it out, I will be using it as a stitch template. And I'm just using this Cricut tool to, it's a weeding tool, to poke my holes, or, using the line as a guide. I really just eyeballed it and did probably about a 1/4 of an inch distance. And then I realized that it was too tight, too close together. So I end up skipping some of the holes, and you'll see me do that. And you really can't tell once I start stitching it using some black embroidery floss. Thank you so much for taking a moment to watch. I really appreciate you. If you haven't subscribed, I would really appreciate if you would subscribe. I am trying to reach a goal of 1,000 subscribers, and if you are a subscriber, I just want to say thanks again for subscribing, and I appreciate you. So the needle that I'm using is a little on the blunt side. It's not sharp, and it has a really big hole. So I use two of the strands of the embroidery floss, and I'm kind of off center, but you can see that I'm just, well, here's when I realized that I did it, I was going too tight, and I start over again. And now I'm just going to basically, I'm not sure what this stitch is called. I really am not in any way a sewer or anything like that. So I'm just going up one, down one, up one, down one. And basically that's creating a stitch that kind of looks like a dotted line, or you know what I mean. Hard to explain. So this doesn't take very long. Probably took me about 5 minutes to do. And it definitely makes the layout stand out a bit. It gives it some texture. It's definitely a different way of using your Kiwi Lane templates. I am using a sketch from Pinterest, and if you're interested, I will have the link in my descriptions to this actual sketch. So this layout came together pretty easily. I did not have pictures in mind. I saw the sketch. Sometimes when late at night when I can't sleep, I go through Pinterest. And I just save sketches that I like. And I had this one in my mind that I wanted to do. I knew what I wanted to do. Just real quick, I do a knot in the back, and then I add a little washi tape so that my thread doesn't go through, and rip the page or anything like that, so it doesn't snag. So I'm using tag 1 and tag 1 is the one I will be using, and I'm trying to figure out what side I want to use, and I end up using this black and white side. But going back to how this layout came together, I didn't even have pictures in mind. It was just such a beautiful layout. I knew exactly what paper I wanted to use, and it just came together. And then when I started looking through my pictures, the pictures I chose were the perfect match. They had the same color scheme. They were perfect. So I ended up really happy with how this layout turned out. So I cut out 2 tags from this heart paper. I'm going to use my Tim Holtz Distress ink and just ink my edges just to give it a little contrast. And I like the hickory smoke. I don't know why I just drew a blank. That's like my go-to. ink, but whatever. So now I'm going to pick this paper, this second paper, and as you can tell, I've already cut into these and I have created other layouts from it. Um, and I'm just using it as a making sure that my lines are straight. I'm just going to cut two rectangular strips using that template as my guide because it was the right thickness. I just needed it a little longer, so I just moved it down a little bit. I'm using my Tim Holtz shears, which are nice and they're great for big cuts like this. You will get a straight line as long as you follow the your edge correctly. And here I'm just trying to figure out what else I need, and I know I need another strip, and I wanted to use this white with a floral print, and I'm just tracing this right off of using the last strip that I cut out. And really, this is the sketch right here. It'll have 3 pictures, and really that was like the whole composition. And of course, I add some extra detail to it because you got to make it your own. And so I cut the flower one a little bit down a little bit because I didn't need it to be as long, and I end up cutting it again. And I'm also going to ink the edges of that one. I trimmed down the pink because I realized it was too long, and now I'm just trying to figure out where they are going. So now I just have to trim the second one down a bit, and I ink the edges, layer everything up, and that is basically what this layout's going to look like. So now I've found my pictures, I printed them out, and I printed them out on the Project Life app, which gives me the perfect 3x4 size. And I use my Canon Selfie to print out my pictures. So here I'm just gluing things down so that they don't move around anymore. I'm layering it the way I want to see it layered. And basically, that will be the main focus of my layout, which are the 3 pictures of our little Luli. And as you can tell, she has a panda shirt, which works great with the black and white hearts and also with this black and white polka dot paper that I'm using to mat my pictures. And again, I usually eyeball my cuts here, but I'm using my paper trimmer, and I will be separating these into 3 separate prints. I realized after I cut this the polka dot white and black paper that once I set it down on top of the black and white heart paper, that there wouldn't be too much to separate the colors, and it kind of blended in. So I took this peachy colored paper, which goes well with the actually goes with the collection, and I'm going to use it as my second mat. I was very happy making this decision of using the second layering behind the pictures, and you'll see the difference in the contrast. And I just did a thin, probably 1/8 of an inch, and as you can see there, you can actually see the difference between the picture and the heart, white and black heart paper. So I'm trying to figure out where I want to place my pictures. I'm happy with how these are laying right now, and I am going to ink my edges, and I forgot to ink the black and white, so I'm just sliding my finger behind behind it and inking the edges of both layers. I'm going to adhere my pictures. Excuse me. And the middle picture I will be adding some fun foam to so that it could be raised up a little above the other two pictures. We're coming very close to the end of this video. I will have close-ups to this layout as well as links to other videos that might interest you. Stay tuned for a announcement, a couple announcements actually. I will be announcing over the weekend, and you know, if you haven't liked or subscribed, if you want to be notified when that video comes up, make sure you hit the bell down below so that you get notifications when my new content comes up. And some exciting times coming. So I'm using these little hearts. They're like epoxy, and they came with the kit, and I really love them. They're so tiny. They are the perfect color to go with this layout, as well as these puffy pink alpha letters. And I was going to do the title at the bottom, but I really liked it up top, and I'm just calling it Spring Outing. I'm trying to stay as positive, and because this is a little girl layout. Yes, spring outing for us here in New Jersey was very difficult. There was a lot of stay-at-home orders were in place, and we really couldn't go anywhere. So, you know, although I do journal about it, I don't want to make it all about COVID. So that's why I decided to call it Spring Outing, and it was one of her first times out, you know, outside once the weather broke, and where she didn't have to wear you know, a thick coat and gloves and all that stuff. So I add some of the little shapes that are also included in the alpha, and now I'm going to go through the chipboard, and I find a couple chipboards that really I liked. That one says "You're Sweet." There's one that's going to say love, and I was trying to figure out where to put it, and it kind of looks perfect right there. And then I found that little black and white heart, and now I'm going to go through the ephemera. And I have to say, their ephemera is really nice. It's a nice quality ephemera. I have never had Felicity Jane before, and I was very impressed by their ephemera pieces. They're like a thin chipboard. So, and they're just different. I really like them. So now I'm just going through the ephemera pack, and I'm moving things around and adding a few things here and there, like that love, 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 love strip, and it's multicolored, and the little happy, and I also added a green little, actually the happy does not end up staying on the layout. I was trying to slip these tags in too, and I couldn't figure out, like, that would have been perfect, but then the hearts would have been upside down. And yeah, no. So the tags don't make it. I do use this little flower bouquet, and I add my love. And now I'm just going to adhere everything. I end up using some sequins in a holographic color. So you'll see when I put them down that they're like white, but they're also like pinkish, bluish color. And then I'm just adhering everything, and I will be using some Prima's, the color's Frost, and it's a Prima spray. And basically this is it. This is my layout. So I appreciate you stopping by. Thanks for watching, and I hope you have a great day. If you need to find me anywhere, my links to all my social media platforms will be listed below, and you can always send me a private message or comment below if you have any questions or if you have any suggestions of future videos. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Stay safe.